All offseason, we've heard that Brendan Donovan would be perfect for the Houston Astros. Well, it seems like he's perfect for the Seattle Mariners. Does that make the Mariners a better team? Are they still the kings of the AL West, or are the Astros going to take back the throne? We'll talk about this and more on tonight's Locked On Astros podcast.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me at X at Eric Stros. You can find H-Town Wheelhouse at Brett at H-Town Wheelhouse. You can find the show at Locked On Astros. We hope that you make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and make us your first listen, whether it's on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us. There's just a little red button down there. All you have to do is hit the like button and go and subscribe to us, and go and make us part of your daily routine on your way to work, at work, wherever it is. Between Brett and I, we have over 18 years of podcasting experience, and we have been trying to walk you through what's going on this off season, because it's been a weird one. Not as weird as the 2025 off season, but it's definitely been a weird off season. So in today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about the Mariners trade. The trade they made today. That their road to the AL West is definitely a little bit tighter. Who makes the Astros starting rotation? Of course, it's likely going to be 6-man rotation. And apparently there's not much going on with Framber Valdez. There's not even a lot of rumors about where he's going at this point. He is the last remaining top 100 player still out there. And what is FanGraphs odds of the Astros not just winning AL West, but making the playoffs and going to the World Series? We're going to talk about this and more on tonight's Locked On Astros podcast. So I know all offseason we've been talking about Brendan Donovan. He'll be perfect for the Astros. He can play the outfield, another left-handed hitter, just somebody that makes great contact. This is exactly what the Astros likely needed. But at the same time, if you're not bringing him in to play infield, yes, he could have technically played second base if you're still comfortable having Jose Altuve play left field. But clearly, Joe Espada is not comfortable with that scenario, having Altuve play majority of the games in the left field. Yes, they did. They tried to do that last year. It wasn't a big flop. He wasn't terrible out there, but I think that they're trying to maybe have another option where he can go out there and play left field. But at the same time, I think they want to really try to get him at second base. So Brendan Donovan could have played the outfield, but the Astros just did not have the package, so to speak, to make that trade with the Cardinals. And I just don't think you look at that trade that for Tane the other day. The Astros gave up their 13th overall prospect. He goes to the Giants and he becomes the 27th prospect over there. The Astros just don't have the deep farm system that other teams do. So the Mariners, they trade 3 of their prospects. It was an actual 3-team trade. This is actually the second time that I know of that the Tampa Bay Rays have been involved in as a third team in a trade. So this is something that I'm not surprised about. The Rays are always trying to get younger. So they traded 3 prospects away. The Cardinals got upside arms, outfield depth, and the Rays got Ben Williamson. This is a player that they obviously wanted. So the Mariners got their player that they're looking for. Suarez, obviously, he signed with the Reds. He was no longer option for the Mariners. So the question is, where's Brendan Donovan going to play? He's likely going to play second base, even though he could play third base, but he'll probably hit leadoff. But the Mariners were always already a good team. They won the AL West last year by 3 games. They won 90 games. The Astros won 87. So the question for today is, have the Astros done enough to surpass the Mariners? I seriously want to know, because yes, they've added a lot of players. They've added a lot of pitchers, like a lot of supplemental pitchers, a lot of projects, so to speak, like Pearson project, Tane, he's a project. There's a lot of different projects that the Astros have increased the depth. They realized last year that you can't have enough pitching, but are the Astros really a better team? If they're healthy, sure. Probably they have a deeper lineup if they're healthy. That's the question. Can they stay healthy for a whole season? And I know I see a lot of people on commenting on YouTube chat about, well, you can't trade Paredes because the Astros have these injury-prone players, and they're going to obviously miss sometimes. So you can't really trade your best hitter if you don't have somebody to replace them when these guys go out, because Mauricio Dubon is gone. You have Allen, who can maybe play sometime there. But if you're looking at, are the Astros a better team than the Mariners? Potentially. They have a chance. Everything has to go right. They don't have Framber Valdez anymore, likely, unless he decides to come back on a 1-year deal. I don't see that. Don't let me get you all excited. I don't see Framber Valdez coming back. But I do like that the Storm Bum says the Mariners didn't win it. The Astros choked it away. Yes, some could say that is the case, but the Astros didn't play their best baseball, but the Mariners did. And they did when they needed to. And the Mariners almost choked away the AL West anyway, but they played the best baseball, and they played good baseball against the Blue Jays. But the Blue Jays were determined to get to the World Series, and they did. So Cal Riley, he had a great season. Julio Rodriguez, you just have a good team. I know that Polanco went, I believe he's with the Mets now. So I think that if you're looking at the substitution here, you have Donovan, who's now going to play second base instead of Polanco. So I think as good a season that Polanco had, this is a little bit of an upgrade. So as of right now, I would say that the Mariners did lose Suarez, but they have other options to play third base. But the Astros, they still have a deeper lineup. They still have a deeper rotation, and they still have a potentially deeper bullpen. But if you're looking at pure talent, the Mariners rotation still has some of the best. I think I'll put Hunter Brown against anybody in the Mariners rotation. Don't get me wrong. But if you look top to bottom, the Mariners rotation is a little bit more proven. And I would probably, if I had to invest in one of those two rotations outside of the number one guy, Hunter Brown, I would probably go with the Mariners. But spring training hasn't started. We don't really know what's going on. So as of right now, are the Astros, have they done enough to supplant the Mariners in the AL West? I'm not sure. I think it's really TBA at this point. It just depends on what Dana Brown does from this point and what they decide to do with Isaac Paredes, because if they don't trade him, which I really don't want them to do. I know we've been talking about it a lot on podcasts. Don't get confused. We do not want him going anywhere. But there's got to be some shoe has got to fall. There's not enough playing time if you want to have Alvarez be the DH and you want to have Altuve at second base. There's just nowhere to play him. And yes, you could play one of those guys in left field, but the Astros have said, we don't want these guys playing a lot of left field. They will play some left field. But the question is, how much? So let's go ahead and talk about the rotation next and who makes the rotation. There's obviously 4 guys that are, let's just say, locks for the rotation. But the other ones, are they really locks? But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us. Going to make this first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. Hey guys, are you looking for somebody to hire? Sometimes it's not about just finding somebody to work for you. It's about finding the perfect person, the perfect pitcher, the perfect hitter, whatever it is, the jack of all trades, the person that you need to help your organization succeed. Because instead of just hoping the right person stumbles across your Indeed posts, Indeed helps you match with the quality candidates by boosting your job listing to people who fit your specific criteria, life skills, certification, and location, which I think is key. If I was hiring, I wouldn't want just somebody who could possibly help. I'd want somebody with real experience, and that's what you get with Indeed. You can get specific and target exactly what you need. It will save time, and with sponsored jobs, your post gets seen by candidates who are actual fits. And in this minute that I've been talking to you, companies like yours may have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get $75 sponsored job credit to help your job premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/LockedOnAstros. That's Indeed.com/LockedOnAstros. Term and conditions do apply. Hey guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Have you heard of the Everydayers Club? Well, it's this awesome new thing where for as little as $5 a month or $50 a year, you get outside access to Brett and I, whether it's throughout the day. You can go ahead and have access to Discord server, the ad-free version. So if you want to listen to the podcast without hearing all commercials, you could do that as well. Or if you upgrade to the all access version, this is what I really like. I like the subtext. I've been having conversations with some of our listeners about trades, moves, and it's just cool to just be able to interact. It's not a group text. It's like we're literally interacting one-on-one. So it's cool. You also get the daily newsletter, discounts on Locked On merch. There's just so many different benefits of becoming a everydayer. So go ahead and go to lockedonastros.supercast.com and join the Everydayers Club today. So I know that there are several candidates who you're probably like, yeah, they're probably going to be in the rotation. It's a no-brainer. Hunter Brown, he's likely going to be in the rotation. I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind that Hunter Brown is going to be the ace. Christian Javier, especially, I know he was hot and cold last year, but when he was on, he kind of remind you why the Astros invested in him like stock. And yes, he got injured after that, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to be one of the main guys. Mike Burrows, I know a lot of people say, well, he's likely a fourth or fifth guy. I see him probably as being maybe the third guy on this rotation, depending on how Amai does. But Amai is definitely one of the top four guys, if not the number three guy. So I guess it just depends on maybe matchups and maybe just how they line up after spring training. But if those are the four, you got Brown, Javier, Burrows, and Amai. You got 2 spots left in a rotation, and you got a lot of people that can fit that role. So the question is, who filled him? A lot of people have it say Spencer Arrighetti. He should be given another shot. I know a lot of teams want to trade for him. He's probably got the most upside here. Second half, he had a pretty good ERA in 2024. He had a lot of injuries. He had the fluke thumb injury last year, but he only had pitched 35.1 innings. He hasn't really proved like long-term, I guess, throughout the whole season that he can pitch. Durability is kind of an issue, but I think Arrighetti will likely get a shot out of spring training if he pitches well. I know the big elephant in the room, and I know I put this on the thumbnail, finding Lance McCullers. What is Lance McCullers going to do for us this year? I know I've seen a lot of people, and Brett and I were talking about this before the podcast yesterday, and we're like, well, what is he going to do? Is he going to be in the bullpen? He showed that he can pitch out of bullpen, but are the Astros really confident with him? Maybe with all spring training to adjust to bullpen, maybe he can use that high octane arm if it's healthy to pitch out of bullpen, or is he going to be a starter? I've seen some people whispering that maybe he's going to retire. They're going to give him a chance in spring training, maybe see what he could do in the first couple of games. If he doesn't do well, then they'll make him retire or something. I don't know what Lance McCullers will do. I know that when he first came up, Bury Me in the H, this was one of those guys that you really rooted for. But last year was just not his season. The first 3 starts, he had a 6.51 ERA. The final 7 starts, he had an 8.10 ERA. It just, he dealt with injuries. It's like you don't know what you're going to get with him. And I'm really rooting for this guy because when he came up, he was that guy that like, yeah, this is our future ace. This is a guy that we could build a rotation around. And he's just kind of got lost with the injuries. And I don't think fans dislike him. I just think they're frustrated with just his production and staying healthy. So we'll see. Somebody says finding LMJ. We know where he is on the season, every season on the IL. That's pretty good. But let's go ahead and talk about some other guys. I'm pretty sure Lance McCullers is going to get a shot on to start the season. So the Astros were saved last year by Jason Alexander. Now the question is, can he replicate his success? I know that when he came on the podcast, he talked about developing a new pitch. He talked about trying to continue his success with the Houston Astros. But I know they won 10 of the first 11 starts. But the question is, can he continue that? If you look at the counting stats, his numbers look great. But if you look at the underlying stats, the analytics, the sabermetrics, whatever it is, it just shows that maybe there's a chance for regression. I know that FIP shows a chance for regression. So I think he might have pitched over his head because maybe there wasn't a lot of exposure to him. But at the same time, that's what spring training is for. What if he comes in and he shows that he's the same dominating guy? He'll probably get a chance out of spring training. So who knows what's going to happen? The Astros went out and got Ryan Weiss. This is a guy that pitched in a KBO. He had a great season last year at KBO, 2.87 ERA. High strikeout rate. He's improved his command since the minor leagues. He's never made his major league debut. And I think he had a quote where he's like, I don't idolize baseball like I used to. I'm more under control. And so you might take that wrong. But what he's saying is that he's more in control of his emotions and he's more in control of who he is as a pitcher versus trying to go out there and impress everybody and try to get up to big leagues. But the Astros invested a lot of money into him, $2.6 million. And so they're probably going to give him a chance. But once again, it just depends. How does he look against big league, minor league pitching or hitters in spring training? If he looks good, he may get a chance. We all know what AJ Blubaugh can do. The question is he more valuable in the rotation or as that swing guy? As a guy that pitches maybe 3 or 4 innings out of bullpen when one of your guys it's not their night, maybe he has a spot start, or I think that's AJ Blubaugh's role for now. I think that if a couple years from now, he'll probably be number 2 or number 3 guy for the Houston Astros if we continue to see him develop like we saw last year. But we did see that his 1.69 ERA last year. The FIP does show that there might be some regression, but he's never been fully stretched out as a starter at the big league level. So that's why I said for right now, while he's still trying to figure things out, I think you're going to see him more as like a bulk guy or just somebody pitch the extra innings. So Colton Gordon, I think that he'll probably be a depth option down to AAA. If there's a lot of injuries or they need somebody, they have a very team that you really need to throw a left-handed starter against, they'll bring him up. But he doesn't miss a lot of bats, and I just don't see them starting the season with him just to have a token lefty in the rotation. And Nate Pearson, I know he's got the high octane fastball, but he hasn't really shown that his command is great. So he's probably going to be a bullpen piece or in the minor leagues or something, but who knows? So we could go talk about Yola as well, but I think that he's probably at the bottom of the totem pole right now. And if you're talking about Yola, that means the Astros have dealt with a lot of injuries. And so, guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Next, we'll talk about the Astros' odds to not only make the playoffs, to win AL West and get to the World Series. Do you agree with them, or is FanGraphs tripping? We'll talk about that next. Hey, Astros fans, it's a stressful time this year. I don't mean baseball season. I mean tax season, and you don't want the taxes to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax full service, you can have the taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish, without the stress or guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employment forms and work to get you every deduction. You can upload your documents, go about your day, and get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver and gives you peace of mind without knowing that expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can just have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. If your TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit turbotax.com/LockedOnAstros to book your your appointment today. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Go and join the Everyday Airs Club, and all you have to do is go to lockedonastros.supercast.com and go ahead and just get into the conversation. But right now, we're just talking about the Astros, the Mariners. I know they had that big trade today. So does that make the Mariners a better team? Well, let's go and look at what FanGraphs says. I mean, because FanGraphs, they typically look at all the numbers. What does numbers say? What's the odds and everything? So if you're looking at the Astros' chances of winning the AL West, they have the second best chances in the division. They're 21 to 22% chances of winning that. It's about so the Mariners move slightly ahead after the Donovan trade. So I think that the Mariners got a slight edge. Let's say the Astros added another player or possibly made another trade to possibly improve another weakness. I don't know if the Astros have too many weaknesses. They could possibly add a backup catcher, but I don't think a backup catcher would really move the needle too much. But maybe if they go out and get a Duran or Abreu from the Red Sox by trading Paredes or somebody else that maybe could improve the lineup and maybe move the needle a little bit, but I still think Paredes is much needed to this lineup. I mean, you don't have anybody on this roster right now outside of Alvarez when perfectly healthy who can really do what Paredes can do. And Paredes just takes pitches. He works the count, and he's just really good at it. So Right now, FanGraphs has the Astros with the second best chances of winning AL West. What do you think about that? What do you think about those odds? So do you agree with that? So let me see I took a picture of that earlier. So the Mariners have a 52.1% chances of winning the division, and I didn't really get the other teams. But so overall, the Astros have about half of the chance of winning the AL West. So that's a pretty big difference there. So the Astros haven't really gone out there and really done a lot to really improve. Yeah, they've made some move. I really think Imai is going to help. I think they've made a lot of bargain bin shopping for pitching, but they haven't really gone out and got the big guys, the guys that really move the needle. And maybe they did. Maybe Christian Walker will go out there and become the beast he was with the Diamondbacks. Maybe the team would stay healthy. There's just so many different things. But same thing, like Ben said, they didn't need to have to do a lot. They just need to stay healthy. But the Astros have the 12th best odds of making the playoffs at 44%. So the teams ahead of them are the Dodgers, the Braves, the Mets, the Mariners, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, the Phillies, the Cubs, and the Orioles. The Orioles, with an 18.6 chance of winning the division, are ahead of the Astros of making the playoffs. That should say something. So they have the Orioles have a 55% chance of making the playoffs. So if you're looking overall, the odds of winning the World Series, I think it's gone down a lot for the Astros. I believe at the end of the season, the Astros odds of making the playoffs were still fairly good. But the Dodgers are 28.4% chance of getting back to the World Series or winning the World Series. The Braves are at 10.2. You have the Mets, surprisingly, at 7.7. You have the Mariners at 6.1%. So I guess if you're talking about rain, that's a good chance of rain because they've never won the World Series. I don't know. Yankees have a 6.1% chance. Red Sox 5.1. Blue Jays, after all these moves they've made, 4.7. So that goes back to the Ben's mark. Look at all the moves the Blue Jays have made. And it really didn't thread the needle. The Blue Jays almost won the World Series last year. If it wasn't for a couple plays here, they would have maybe beat the Dodgers. But they don't even have good odds of going back or winning the World Series. I think everybody just loves the Dodgers. So the Astros' chances of winning the World Series are 2.3%. I don't have all the projections in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that's better than the Rockies, probably 0.0005%. I'm making that up. But at least the Astros are competitive. At least they have some chances of winning, going back to the postseason. So you're not looking at a team that's going to be dominant all year. You're not looking at an Astros team that's just going to steamroll like we've seen them in the past. But they still have a playoff caliber rotation. I mean, roster overall, it's not just rotation. But the division is no longer just going to be a layup. It's no longer going to be the Astros are just automatically going to win AL West. They won X amount of season straight AL West. It's going to be a battle this year. And the Mariners are not going to – they're trying to stay ahead of the Astros because they are still the golden standard. Even though the Mariners won, not taking anything away from what the Mariners did. I think that a lot of teams are still watching what the Astros did because as long as the Astros have Alvarez, Altuve, and a couple of these guys, Correa, I guess, people are going to be scared of this team. There's still going to be a chance that they're going to be competitive. They're one game away from being in the playoffs last year, whether it's just a wild card thing or not. but we'll see. Christopher says that I'm smelling Framber coming back on a short-term deal. I don't think so. I think that he'll sit into spring training if he has to. That this has happened before, where you have a high, big name free agent, didn't get the deal he wants. You wait it out. They have he probably gets loose, gets ready at Scott Boras's spring training camp, and gets ready. And then when you have teams realize that the rotation is not what they want it to be, but I think that teams have just realized maybe Framber Valdez, while his stuff is there, I just don't think that the mental makeup is what people wanted out of a guy they're going to pay millions and millions of dollars to. So, Ben, I'm pretty sure that you're totally sorry, Christopher. I'm pretty sure that you're totally serious there. But anyway, that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen, whether it's on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us, and make sure that you subscribe and follow the Locked On Astros podcast to get all the latest updates. You never miss an episode. The Everydayers Club is built for you. Get Locked On Astros ad-free, plus members-only Discord, and more. Head to lockedonastros.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we send you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make the second listen Locked On MLB. So make sure you go ahead and become an everydayer. And guys, Brendan and I'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be talking about some type of Astros news. If not, spring training is around the corner. So guys, as Brett always says, go strong.